Hello, we're so happy to have you.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mr. Martin, and I'm the principal here at Mount Olive High School.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You answer them to the best of your ability, all right?
I will do my best.
So, I know that this is your first year being the principal. Could you run us through what you previously taught, since you are not new to the school?
Yeah, so I've been at the school district for about 15 years. I came in as a junior high PE teacher, and I taught PE and health. Then a couple years later, I added driver's ed. So I would come up to the high school for the driver's ed, go back to the junior high. A few years later, I was a split position where I was in the junior high half a day and the high school half a day, still PE, health, driver's ed. Fast forward a couple years more, and I took a job as a student services coordinator. And I really, really liked that job. It allowed me to see how things were moving K through 12 and kind of see how those blocks and pieces fit together. Last year, halfway through the year, our principal decided to take a leave. So I was asked to do a Dean of Students role, and I did the Dean of Students role for the second semester of last year.
Yes, and I'll have to admit, I haven't met a single person that wasn't excited that you stepped up to that position.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
We're all very happy that you could now be our principal for the year.
Well, good. So far it's gone very well. I will say that, and kudos to the students. And I said this when we did our attitude of gratitude activity. Our availability and opportunities are really based on how things are happening at the school, and the drivers of that are not necessarily the staff, but it's the students. The staff help make it available, but students' attitudes and behaviors really open the doors of opportunity.
Do you think that the transition for the students having a new principal is easier because of them already knowing who you are and having a previously built relationship with you?
Yes, I think that helps quite drastically, honestly, because I think having that previous relationship, I know sort of what are some motivators, what are some demotivators for some students, when you're walking into a situation, just having some background information is always helpful.
It always is. I must ask, what's your plan, or what do you hope to see the school become or improve on?
Yeah, I really, that's an excellent question. And I think what I really want to see is a supportive environment, one that is looking at the whole person, not just academics, but what can we offer, and not just the students either, but for the staff as well. Like, how can we make sure that it doesn't become a drain in any one particular area? And I think one of the ways that we've been doing that is by trying to build relationships. And taking time to do that is important. And I mean, I don't know. I have some feedback from the Attitude of Gratitude Day, but from that, it seems like the one big thing I got was it was nice to have some time to relax, hang out, and actually just talk. And that, to me, is building relationships.
Growing up, did you ever see yourself coming into a role like this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I honestly never thought I would be a teacher when I was growing up. So, it's funny how you can travel life, and life will lead you down and open doors that you just don't necessarily see or anticipate. But I have thoroughly enjoyed my time in education, and I continue to enjoy the things that I'm doing. And that doesn't mean that there's not hard days or hard situations, but the biggest part is each day to come in with a good, healthy attitude and try to conquer that day.
I know you've already talked about it a little bit, but could you go in a little bit more depth how your first real semester as the full-blown principal is going?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting. It's been good, and I think that I am trying to prioritize various things when you're talking about mission and vision. The biggest thing that I wanted to come into this year was to cut discipline or behavior, because that seemed to be an issue that was on the student side. We had a lot of frustrations from students who were like, I just wish we could get some things handled. And I think when you talk to staff mimicked those same sentiments, and they were like, if we could just get this kind of settled and create a rhythm, we could get a lot of things done. And kudos to the staff and to the students for recognizing exactly what needed to be done, because I think we've cut behavior over 50% this year. And I think from that, you're starting to see a lot of activities that previously were not being engaged in the classrooms. So I actually get to see that the hallways can now be used as extensions of classrooms, whereas last year there was pretty much no way that that was going to be taking place.
50%, that's very impressive.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that just comes from everybody understanding what the rules are, how they're going to be enforced, and that they're going to be enforced equitably. Like, it doesn't matter if it was my own son or my own daughter. If they had done it, then they were going to receive that same consequence. So I think that is a benefit to people knowing me and having the belief that when I say that I'm going to do it, that I will follow through with it.
I will have to say you have definitely helped with people feeling that there is favoritism towards other students. I have noticed you have, no matter who it is, it's all of an equal value. What they did is what they did, and there's no, you're part of the sports team, you're part of the band, nothing like that.
Yeah, and I think the best way to kind of frame it in my mind is everything's a learning situation, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're going to be remembered for a mistake or a decision that they were made one time. That doesn't mean that those decisions don't come with consequences, and everyone should be pardoned from those things. But there are times to learn from them, and then there are times where we have to make sure that there's a consequence that follows that suits that situation.
Mm-hmm. And once again, that comes back to you talking about how you think we should see the students as a student instead of their grades or academic achievements.
Oh yeah, I think when you see the whole person, you're going to be able to have empathy, and when you can apply empathy, you can accomplish a lot of things, because nobody's perfect. And the minute that a teacher or another student walk in and just have the assumption that I'm automatically correct. Perfect example, a lot of the small changes that we've made this year have actually been, some of them have been student-led, student-initiated, and sometimes just even by accident. We improved a couple of our forms, our school forms, and that's not something that students actively engage in, but we had a situation, the student turned something in, walked me through their point of view, and I looked in and I said, "You are absolutely correct. Thank you for improving our system." So we revamped that form and to fit what we needed it to fit. And I don't think the student was upset by it. I wasn't upset by it, but now we're leading out, and we have a better system in place because of it.
I think it helps that we know that you see us as equals and not as simply something under you. It's very nice when we are seen as equals.
When you think of education, if you only think of education as happening in the classroom, then that's a serious misnomer there, because education happens 24 hours a day. So whether I'm helping my sister hold her baby and teaching my daughter how to hold the baby, like, that's all education. And it's how do we want to engage with and shape the world that we live in. So I love the Mount Olive community, and I think it's a great place to work, and I want to try to shape that in a way that we have a collection of ideas of what that is. Because if it was just my idea, that's great for me, but it might not be great for you. So I want to include you in that. And then as we include you, then we get to include everybody else.
Mm-hmm. You have very great leadership skills, and it really shows, especially with the fact you had to step up and take the position mid-year last year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I kudos, and I appreciate it. But I think one of the best things about leadership for me is realizing that really, I view leadership as an upside down pyramid. The higher that you go on that pyramid, the more weight that you should carry. And it's not a dictatorship. It's not I'm not a king or anything like that where life gets easier as things happen. And my job is to support the staff or the students to try to make sure that they feel like they have the tools to accomplish what's ahead of them. So, like perfect example right now, unfortunately, we had a staff member whose child is sick and we're down and out. So I'm helping in a capacity that I don't normally help out, but you've seen me in the last couple of days typing in everybody's for the lunch count. So, it's about stepping in and doing things that need to happen. And sometimes you have to be creative in the ways that we do that. So
You're very active within the school, and I think that helps a lot.
And I think that's the biggest thing is I want my goal, if I were to just say what my vision is that I get into every classroom every week. I just want to see what's happening. And also for me, I could tell you the hardest thing moving from teacher to principal is not seeing students regularly, like daily, and having those conversations and kind of keeping up with those relationships. So it's nice for me that I had the relationships and now I still see you intermittently versus having cut that relationship, move to a different school, and then starting over. So to me, this is just it's an extenuation. That's not the correct word, but it's a continuation of that relationship.
Do you still teach driver's ed? I believe you do.
I do still teach driver's ed, and that is mainly because we don't have anybody in the building currently who is qualified or wants to teach it. We will be posting that position here shortly, and if we have someone that in the building that would like to take it, they can take it. It's not something it's actually my favorite class because it's literally 6 hours with the student sitting there and being able to just kind of talk. Yes, we're learning a skill at the same time, but sometimes just having those conversations is nice to break the tension as well. So it's a good relationship builder.
I can also tell whenever I was in your class that you do enjoy it.
Yeah.
You definitely helped me and many other people get over their fear of driving and help us learn how to be safer and all of that stuff, which is great and builds trust that it's hard to get, especially coming into a new position.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad to hear that you learned some things and that you're going to be able to apply them as you hit the road.
Yes, I've learned many things in your class and many things just on the road itself.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, though, right? I mean, sometimes it just takes someone to believe that you can do it a little bit, get you started, and then you can continue that journey. It's kind of like when you're riding a bike, you need to feel like you have those training wheels or have someone behind you for a little bit. But then once you get the hang of it, you're riding along, and then you're going to reach a point here, probably not too distant future, where you could possibly be the person that is going to help lead that next person and teach them and tutor them along the way.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say? Because I think that's about all I have.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time and asking these questions, and I'm just excited. I really do feel like the overall feel of our school, it feels lighter, and I feel like it feels a little bit more open. And my hope is that we continue to build those things and find the interests, like in the intersections where, I know that Mr. Lesko does, the board gaming because he was already interested in that. And it seems like Mr. McAnulty is trying to reach out and maybe do some things in the video gaming realm. And I think the more that we can find those intersections, the better. And I really think next year what I'm hoping is how can we find the intersections where the students are leading and not necessarily the staff. Not that I want to take away the things from the staff, but I would really love to see where our students are maybe doing a tutoring session for the junior high or doing some, those are just some ideas, but that's what I would really like. I would really like to see how our students can lead.
I also have to agree, the overall feeling of the school has become a lot more positive and simply better as you have taken a more leadership role.
Well, I appreciate that once again. And, but I will always defer and say that, you know, when you work with a team, it's, if you can rely on those people and let those people kind of work in the areas that they're comfortable and grow them, you're always going to get more results than if you just kind of take control and try to, you know, tell people what to do. So it's really about encouraging. It's encouraging trying. And I think that's the biggest thing. And we say it a lot, but it's, you can do a lot with try.
Yes, you can. Well, we are just so happy that you took time out of your day to let us interview you. And I'm sure, as I say this for myself, I can say this for many others. I am so happy and so excited to see where you take this school and everything else.
Well, I'm excited to be in the car with you and journeying with you, Lily. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.